Hey everybody, welcome to part 4 of What If Noah were team swapped with Izzy. So, in the last episode, we had to say goodbye to Heather, Beth, Sadie, and Lindsay. So today, we will be talking about extreme torture, the brunch of disgustingness, um, the beginning of the merge with no pain, no gain, search and do not destroy, hide and be sneaky, and that's off the chain. So yeah. Righty, so let's start with extreme torture. So in extreme torture, it starts in the boys section of the Killer Bass cabin. Noah, Duncan, and Jeff are negotiating who they should vote off next. Noah thinks it's about time we vote off Bridget. Duncan says no, and so doesn't Jeff. Duncan says DJ has no alliances. If we lose, we know who to vote off. Noah says, true. That is very true, Duncan. I'll agree to it if we lose. Meanwhile, in the girls' cabin, Gwen and Katie are bickering, since Lindsay, her only other friend, was just eliminated. Katie is really just not in a good mood and thinking that she ain't gonna make it long. Deshauna says, listen, I know you were in Heavens and Lights, but you were manipulated. But, still, you have a good side, Katie. You had Sadie. But the other team had to vote her off. Katie says, thanks, Shauna. Thank you. They hug. Meanwhile, Cordy and Bridget are negotiating. Bridget says, well, Courtney, haven't you done anything wrong? Cordy says, no, not at all. Bridget says, well, what's with that alliance? Oh my god. What about that alliance with, who is it? Duncan? Conley says, yeah, the guy on our team. Yes. But listen, we're gonna win it. We're gonna try and lose this challenge. Bridget says, why? Because we need the amount of boys and girls. There are 6 boys and 2 girls. What do you mean by that? Says Bridget. Courtney says, DJ's going out tonight. Bridget says, oh, I see. Alrighty. In the morning, everyone gets woken up when the massive plane that Chris is, on, comes down onto the surface. So yeah. In extreme torture. So he starts with Chef and DJ are taken up to 5,000 feet in Chris's plane and ordered to parachute to the beach where they must land on a sofa bed. The rest of the teammates will be on the ground trying to position the sofa beds underneath them. Before they take off, Gwen makes a first discreet attempt to find out if Trent wrote the letter. So the letter still happens in this timeline, but instead of just making Howard have it because he's never here and he never properly met Lashawna, let's just say that Jeff wrote the note for Bridget, and we'll just go from there. But all she gets from him is a blank stare. While Bridget shakes her head at Gwen with a grin on her face. Gwen says in confessional, okay, so it wasn't my subtle, sleuthing moment. Chris gives Trent and DJ a stack of papers to sign on the plane, explaining that these are their organ donation forms for a cannibalism challenge. He's pitching to the producers, then he says they've reached the drop point and it's time to jump back onto the ground. Gophers have a hard time moving the bed when they realise that Owen is sleeping on the bed, unable to wake him up or move the sofa. Katie paints a bright red target on his butt and leaves him there to give Trent a soft landing. Trent has second thoughts about jumping, but DJ gives him a comforting pat on the back, causing him. Oh my god. Causing him. Causing him to fall out the plane in his panic. Trent forgets to open his parachute and lands face down on the beach, leaving a deep impression in the sand. Back in the air, DJ tries to get himself ready to jump, but he's still scared, trying to remember to pull the blue and red cords in order. He panics as he falls and pulls the red cord first, then the blue. Meanwhile, the killer bass tries to maneuver their sofa bed into the place. And Bridget asks Jeff about romance. And Jeff says, did you see that letter I wrote for you? Bridget says, wait, it was for me? Jeff says, yeah, who else would, write any, thing? Bridget says, you serious? Yeah. I mean it, says Jeff. Bridget hugs Jeff and kisses him right on the lips. And, as soon as DJ falls, and, okay. Meanwhile, well, DJ falls into the bed and getting trapped inside. Meanwhile, Trent is in a body cast and being pushed around by Nurse Hatchet, who is Chef disguised as a nurse. Gwen asks if Trent has anything he wants to say to her before he's reboned, wanting him to say something poetic in his final words. However, Trent simply asks if his hair is messed up, leaving Gwen speechless, and Bridget satisfied that Trent did not write the love letter. The camp moves on to the next challenge, where Jeff is up for the killer bass to ride the great Canadian bucking moose, like a bronco bull. On the way, Bridget makes another. Okay, Bridget holds on to Jeff and tells Gwen it was Jeff the entire time. And the moose quickly kicks off Jeff. Meanwhile, Lashawna heads on. Despite being frightened of the large moose that breaks away from the pen, Lashawna holds on to it as it tries to throw her off. Okay. Smashing through a bush, the moose passes them again, smashing through a bush and stomping on the marshmallows the bear was about to eat, with Lashawna still hanging on, securing the point for the Gophers. Okay. So, for the final tiebreaker challenge, it would be DJ and Duncan versus Katie and Lashawna. So, what would happen is Lashawna would actually. Oh, wait, would it be Owen who would be driving it? Because he hasn't. It's going to be Owen driving it. So, Owen would drive the Veal and his team. Well, Duncan rides it as well. Katie tries to get DJ to stop getting the points, and it makes DJ see what Harold saw on Heather's chest. You see what I mean? And then this leads DJ to fumble and get the killer bass to elimination, giving Screaming Gophers the point and gets them to pass on. Duncan, Noah, Jeff, Courtney, and Bridget know what to do. So when the elimination happens, the first marshmallow goes to Noah, followed by Courtney, followed by Bridget, followed by Jeff, and the final marshmallow goes to Duncan. So DJ is eliminated. I'm sorry, DJ. You just feel like, no, to be real, you had no alliances, so you're definitely going to be a target on the entire team that has an alliance. So I'd like to welcome you all to the merge version. So Katie, Lashawna, Gwen, Courtney, and Bridget versus Owen, Trent, Noah, Jeff, and Duncan. So welcome. So DJ gets bumped up. So yeah, okay. So when the bunch is discussing this, it starts with the Chris saying, "Everyone out to their cabins. I got something to tell everyone." Everyone comes out. I'd like to say I welcome you all to the merge period of the chat of the game. Everyone is happy, but some look unsatisfied. So, Chris announces that welcome to the team swap. Everyone is shocked when they hear this. It's the battle of the sexes, people, Chris says. And, I'd like to say that the cabins will be split up. The boys want the left cabin, and the girls want the right cabin. Owen, Trent, Noah, Jeff, and Duncan versus Katie, LaShawna, Gwen, Courtney, and Bridget. So yeah. Chris would say that breakfast will happen in the next hour, and you have an hour to look at your new teammates. Noah talks to Trent of how you and Gwen are doing. Gwen, Trent says she is she's me and her like tight. We've not kissed yet, but we're like dating much. Noah's happy to see this because he's ready to ruin it when the time is right. Owen hugs Noah, saying, "Hello, new teammate." Well, old new teammate. Noah's just confused when he hugs him, saying, "Oh, hey, Owen, can you not hold me so tight?" Owen, apologizes and lets go of him. No, it's fine. It's just I don't want my bones being crushed since I'm the weakest person here. Owen says it's fine. Jeff and Duncan think that it's about time we split the alliance. Noah goes up to them saying that I think we need to keep our alliance going strong because we could control the votes. Jeff and Duncan agree to this. And meanwhile in the girls' cabin, Gwen and LaShawn are bickering with Courtney and Katie because now Katie's on Courtney's side. Because it still happens in this timeline. Let's just say that Courtney is Heather at this point. So Courtney bickers with Gwen and LaShawna. Gwen says, "Why do you have to? Why are you acting like this? You were this nice girl when I first saw you." Courtney says, "I got a boyfriend. I've changed a lot because of annoying people." And then Courtney looks at Katie and saying, "Wait, why are you talking about me?" Kate Courtney says that your best friend was kind of a, and it bleeps out the word B. You know what I mean? So Katie was shocked to hear this and attacks Courtney right on, and Lashawna has to split them two up, and Lashawna says, "Let's make a line." Courtney says, "What do you mean?" "Let's split it into two sections. My side and your side, Courtney. You can have Bridget, and we can just have Katie, because it seems you two are just falling out. We can be on either sides, and we don't have to fight about it." Courtney says, "Fine," but it's all good. Let's just put it as that. Chris says, "Time's up. Meet in the kitchen right now." Everyone heads to the kitchen. Chris announces that the challenge is eating disgusting foods. Noah's kind of annoyed when he hears about this thing because he does not like food at all. He does not like disgusting food because it really doesn't help with his problem with his, well, what he said back at the beginning. He said about his mental illnesses. Chris says, "Yeah, we've been told about that, and we said you can stay out the challenge." That means one of the girls must leave out a player. And they all look at Katie. Katie's just confused. Wait, you want me to out the challenge? Courtney says you have a chance to be in the merge at least. Katie says fine. And so it's Trent, Owen, Jeff, Duncan versus LaShawna, Gwen, Bridget, and Courtney, whilst Noah and Katie reaches an emerge because Chris has to do it since Noah has massive illnesses that that you can't use just to kill him. So the first challenge happens, and the girls would lose the first round since Bridget is a vegan and well, you know what really just happens. And then in part two, the girls would win, whilst because I think Shred would puke. So that gets him out, but it will be counted as out. Then because Glen's just kinda sad that Trent isn't there, she specifically pukes and makes her team lose, so she has to go to the infirmary with Trent. Courtney says, "Oh my god, that stupid Goth." Sean is kind of annoyed when she hears this. Then, the final round happens to say who's the most worthy to eat the grossest ever food ever. Duncan, Courtney, Jeff, and Bridget step out. Owen is ready to eat what he can, so is LaShawna, which is the shots with disgusting things in them that I can't remember what it said. Owen eats a bunch of them, but LaShawna has the least amount of them because LaShawna loses her appetite after about 6 of them and pukes. So the boys have won their vacation. So even Noah gets his vacation even though doing nothing. And the girls have to stay in the cabin during the weekend. So yeah, that's gonna happen. Alrighty. I welcome you all to the merge section. So I'm gonna have to put everything up here. There we go. Owen, Noah, Trent, Duncan, Jeff, LaShawna, Katie, Gwen, Courtney, Bridget. These are our merge contestants. But you guys gotta say, where is the comebacks? The thing is, I have actually planned on this. So I welcome the two returning contestants, Izzy and Justin. So Izzy comes back as usual, but Justin was voted out second, and because let's say public demand made him come back, like actually public demand, because every girl has a crush on him, and mostly because it was the girls. Izzy, Bridget, Courtney, Gwen, Katie, LaShawna, and Owen fall for him again. But nowhere is a plan to get him as the first eliminated person out. So this leads everyone to think that it. So when it happens, Izzy is on Courtney and Bridget's side for some reason. And then when Justin goes to the boys' cabin, he's on Owen and Trent's side. Let's just say that because it's the killer. It's gonna be Screaming Ghost is on one side and the Killer Bat's on the other side. So yeah, but true. Izzy is kind of annoyed that they had that she had to leave. But Courtney says you wouldn't actually last so long because you're crazy. So it's better off you eliminated then. But you can still come back now. Izzy kind of accepts this because it's kind of true. So yeah. So this leads everyone. I welcome you to No Pain No Gain. So in No Pain. Oh, I pressed on no, not quite famous. Okay. No pain, no game. So yeah. Okay. Okay. Chris explains that the challenge competition will be a torture game called Say Uncle. Any camper who refuses the challenge or fails to complete it will be allotted. 10 seconds will be disqualified, and the winner will receive immunity and the luxury trailer. After introducing mask-wearing chef and his assistant, Chris spins the wheel of misfortune for Duncan's challenge. For the turtle puck shots challenge, Duncan is forced to stand in front of a hockey net, with Chef's fires angry, snapping turtles at him. One turtle bites him in the groin. When he is unprotected, Duncan groans and Chris provokes him by asking if he's having fun. To which Duncan sarcastically replies, "It's a riot!" Trent tries to talk to Gwen, telling her that Duncan's part of the challenge was tough, but she tells him not to, leading Trent to wonder why if she's still upset about what happened during the bunch of disgustingness. Yes, something happened during the bunch of disgustingness. I'm just gonna have to say that still happens, kind of. Trent gets back on Gwen's good side by telling her if he had the chance, she'd be the last person he'd buried alive, which Gwen thinks is sweet. Lindsay's challenge is marshmallow wax. Well, no, it's actually going to be Kay's challenge. Kay's challenge is marshmallow waxing, which requires her to endure 10 seconds of excruciating pain as Chef applies melted marshmallow mixture to her face. She exceeds in pleased with how flawless her skin has become. Trent tells Gwen that marshmallow wax would have been painful, and he doubts that he would have gone through it with it. Gwen explains that this is because men are weak in two areas, beauty and pain. Katie gets the pick that goes who's next, because she didn't complain during the challenge. However, Chris also adds that if the victim can pass their challenge, she will be eliminated. With Justin's advice, he chooses Noah to compete. Jeff's challenge is to be in a vat of leeches. Noah's kind of worried about this because he might get something bad when he gets into it. And then LaShawna says a confessional. Even though we all wanted this, okay. Noah says a confessional that, oh my god, this is not going to be good for me, and we all know that. Let's just hope I make it through those 10 seconds and get them right off immediately. I might need help from Corny doing that. Okay. Noah fails. Just the short of the required 10 seconds. Chris revealed he ended up surviving in the barrel with a time of 9.99999999999 seconds, but points out it's still less time. So Lindsay is safe and Noah is eliminated from the challenge and forced to enter the stocks, where all losers must be tied up. Owen is the next, and his challenge is to wear a pair of wooden shorts and endure a woodpecker. A montage that shows Gwen having her nose hair plucked, DJ, no, Courtney being eaten and squeezed by a boa constrictor, which she fails at, and Bridget wearing a shirt made entirely of live beads. Chris spins the wheel and says the next challenge is spend 10 seconds in a wooden crate with Sasquatch and Aqua. Bridget, encouraged by the other campers, willingly chooses Justin for the challenge. Justin enters the box, and 10 seconds later, he comes out with the Sasquatch falling for him. That That means Bridget is eliminated as a result of Justin's performance, and Chris then shows a series of clips to the other campers being eliminated. Trent can jump over a line of skunks between rocks, Gwen can stand 10 seconds of new age music. Katie can get her hair cut off by a chef with a chainsaw, which Chris calls that Warwick by hair salon. And Owen can eat a lot of ice cream without getting a brain freeze. Afterwards, Izzy is shocked by a pair of electric eels, and she enjoys it so much that she demands it to be done again. Chris tells her that she can choose the next contestant, and she chooses herself for a poison ivy shower treatment, much to everyone's shock, including Chris. Shauna says, in confessional, is it just me, or that girl's some kind of crazy? The judges will approve it, Chris says, but they want to know why. Izzy casually replies that she wants to know how it feels, despite her face being covered in red spots from poison ivy. She lasts the required 10 seconds, however, she's eliminated because she chose herself. Finally, Chris announces that Duncan and the Shauna are the last two campers standing after 20 rounds of torture. Shauna says, I did not make this far to quit now. That trailer is bank, and it's got my name written all over it. Whatever he's got to throw at me, I'm gonna do. Sorry, I had to give the voice because I had no choice what to do with the voice. Chris informs the Shauna that her challenge will be to roll a log with Molotov, a grizzly bear who Chris believes has been the European log rolling champion for the past 12 years. And Chris advised the Shauna that she must stay on the log for at least 10 seconds to avoid death in the surrounding piranha-infested waters. Chris offers the Shauna the chance to leave, but she refuses after Molotov initially has control of the log. The Shauna takes back by running, jumping, no stop, causing Molotov to fall into the water and roll moments later, almost completely stripped of his fur by the piranha attack. LaShawna earned individual immunity as well as a brand new food-filled trailer. Let's just say that Justin was eliminated because it was related to his face. So at the campfire ceremony, later that night, Chris tells the campers that they are out of marshmallows, which clearly upsets Owen. Chris goes on to say that he's been watching the confessional tapes, and that there's been a lot of hatred among the campers, which he thinks is great. He decides to show the campers their peers think and who they would vote for. In their shots, Noah votes for Justin. Duncan votes for Justin. Gwen, Bridget, DJ, Jeff, and Katie vote for Justin. And Justin votes for Noah. So Chris tells that Justin is out with 6 votes. Justin is sent to the boat of losers, shouting that he will get his revenge and accusing Izzy of lying about where she spent her time. Izzy immediately changes the focus of the conversation before Justin can finish, and the campers agree to go LaShawna's new trailer that night to party. So yes, I'm doing the same thing what happened to Eva. Justin is eliminated first out the merge. Yes. So this leads us to the next episode, which is coming next. So give me a second as I finish the episode. Elsewhere, Sasquatch and Aqua and Molotov are seen in a remote cave trying on some of the campers' clothes, covering their missing fur. Sasquatch and Aqua put on Jeff's missing lucky hat, while Molotov tries Sadie's clothes, and like Katie and Sadie squeals with delight. Okay, so now talk about Search and Don't Destroy. The plot begins with a squirrel walking up in its home in a tree. It sip of coffee before the camera pans to LaShawna, leaving her trailer after a good night's sleep. Meanwhile, Gwen and Trent are hanging out together in the dock. Gwen is sitting on a tree, drawing a picture of him. Trent, who has just climbed out the water and onto the dock after a swing, Gwen asks what she is drawing. Calling her beautiful, she replies, "Nothing," and shyly hides her sketch bag from him. A hidden camera reveals that the drawing is a sketch of a shirtless Trent. Gwen says, "I absolutely positively don't have a crush on Trent. I'm so over it. I mean, come on. Sure, for a week or two I was into him, but I mean..." The scene cuts to Chris in a pirate costume, firing a cannon. Then quickly covering his ears, the cannonball hits LaShawna's trailer and destroys it, much to her surprise and disappointment. He then announces, in a stereotypical pirate accent, that all the campers must report to the amphitheater for the next challenge. The campers enter the amphitheater, including LaShawna, dragging her Chad luggage behind her. Chris, still in a pirate costume and accent, begins to describe the challenge, saying, "Will be a good old-fashioned treasure hunt." Gwen groans at the idea while Chris continues. He explains that the treasure hunt has a twist. In what they are looking for, it's not hidden and it's not treasure. Prompting Duncan to ask, why is he dressed as a pirate? If there's no treasure. Chris tells him that he asked a good question, and then explains that they will be looking for keys to treasure chests containing prizes. Chef holds out a bucket and invites them to take clues from it. Campers do so. So I'm gonna quickly just gloss over this since it's gonna pretty much be biased. Because it won't be Trent going out tonight since Heather won't kiss him. Because she's not even here. So, the reason, let's just say Noah wins a beauty. Let's put it as that. The marshmallows will go blatantly. Noah gets the first marshmallow, followed by Owen, followed by Courtney, followed by Gwen, followed by Trent, followed by Duncan, followed by LaShawna, followed by Jeff, followed by Bridget, and then the final marshmallow goes to Izzy. So I'm sorry, Katie, you've made it so far, but I'm sad to say you are eliminated now. So this leads to the penultimate episode I will be talking about in this episode, which is High and Be Sneaky. Chris says for Noah winning the challenge, he will be allowed to choose someone to find everyone in time. Noah says, who to choose? I need to pick someone who can easily not be a good seeker. Then he goes to pick Trent. So, we now have our chosen contestant to do it. I'm now going to put boys on one side and the girls on one side. There we go. So, Chris says, everyone else, you have 10 seconds to hide. Well, 10 minutes to hide as Owen will be staying here. Chef gives Owen a gun, a water gun. If you shoot at the contestant that is there, you can eliminate them. You have instant immunity, Owen. Owen is happy because he didn't want to just be eliminated even though he made it. So only when he gets immunity, so he's not going to be eliminated. Owen finds Bridget and LaShawna easily because he would have looked in the water immediately. Then finds Gwen and Trent. Of course they'll find them together. And then finds Courtney and Duncan on a tree branch together. Owen is confused why they're on a tree branch together. They say because they're a couple. Jeff is also found at the same time, which leads it's between Trent and Noah. Noah picks Owen. Sorry, I meant to pick him to pick Noah. Owen. So Noah and Trent and Duncan win immunity because they actually never found them. So they come out. That means Courtney, Izzy, Gwen, Lashawna, Bridget, Owen, and Jeff are for elimination. Noah tells Duncan, Jeff, Owen, Bridget, and Courtney it's about time we vote off one of the girls, and they decide to choose to pick off Gwen. So the marshmallows go to Noah, Trent, Duncan, Izzy, Owen, Courtney, Lashawna, Bridget, and Jeff. So I'm sorry, Gwen, you have been eliminated. Trent is shocked when he hears this, then angrily looks at Noah because he knew it was his fault that Gwen is eliminated and says, "Oh, you little pipsqueak, you did this. I know what to do now." Noah smirks. "If you can try and vote me out, that's not possible, dude. It's not really possible." So this leads to Gwen being eliminated. Trent goes to Gwen saying, "I'll win this for you, babe." Gwen kisses him saying, "You got this, I promise ya." So this leads to the next episode, which is That's Off the Chain. So in That's Off the Chain, Noah remarks about how it was so easy to pick off Gwen because it would infuriate Trent. So it gets him to be an easy target to go. Duncan remarks saying that it's about time we just try and get someone else eliminated from our own side so we don't seem suspicious. Noah says we need to get off someone that we have to keep Owen because we can't it'll be obvious it'll be me if we get Owen out. We can't get Courtney out since it'll be obvious that you did that because you two are boyfriend and girlfriend and it'll be easier to know you did that. We can't do Bridget because that'll annoy Jeff. So Jeff has to be the option to go then. What about Izzy and the shoulder? Oh, they'll just do something, I think. So the same thing happens in timeline, but sadly I have to say Jeff gets the worst spike and comes in second. So the final elimination of Total Drama Part 4 it sadly has to go to Jeff. I apologise to all the Jeff fans, but he has been eliminated. So this has been Part 4. The final part will be out in 2 days' time. So, yes, who do you think you want to win? So, our final 7 are Courtney, Duncan, Owen, Noah, Bridget, Trent, Izzy, and Lashawna. So, who do you want to keep on? Who do you think needs to go? You can tell me why in the comments. And I'll see you next time for another Total Drama video. This has been What If Noah and Izzy team swapped instead of Katie and Izzy? Part 4. I'll see you next time. Bye!